EA says FC27 will feature more than 21,000 licensed players, over 800 clubs and national teams, 140 stadiums, and more than 35 leagues. Those numbers sound like the complete answer. They are not, because the real story is not how many licenses EA can fit into one announcement. It is which competitions receive a full matchday treatment, which edition is genuinely new, and what the article still does not reveal. So let us separate the scale from the substance, and EA's confirmed announcement from everything still unknown. EA published its FC27 leagues and licenses breakdown on July 23rd. The headline promise is enormous. More than 300 football partners supporting a game that spans men's and women's football across domestic leagues, continental competitions, clubs, national teams, and stadiums. But there is an important boundary. These are EA's official announcements. They are not an independent audit of every licensing contract, and the article does not provide every club, league, stadium, or partner behind those totals. That gives us 3 questions to answer. How broad is FC27's licensed world? How deep does the presentation go? And where do the headline numbers stop giving us useful detail? Start with the top of the pyramid. EA says FC27 brings the Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, UEFA Super Cup, and Women's Champions League into fully licensed tournament experiences, supported by official branding and custom commentary. South America is represented through the CONMEBOL Libertadores, Sudamericana, and Recopa. EA names clubs including River Plate, Boca Juniors, Bahia, Botafogo, Club Nacional de Football, and Independiente del Valle as examples. EA also says FC27 is the only game that combines several of those competitions with the Premier League, Bundesliga, and La Liga in one package. That wording matters. It is EA's claim about a specific bundle, not proof of permanent or universal exclusivity. And the deeper we move into the league list, the more useful the details become. In England, EA promises all 20 Premier League clubs, plus managers, kits, stadiums, league presentation, pundit commentary, and matchday atmosphere. Below that, the EFL contributes all 72 clubs across the Championship, League One and League Two. The Carabao Cup is named as well. The women's game is not treated as a side note. EA describes a new 14-team Women's Super League presentation, all 16 Liga F clubs, all 14 Frauen Bundesliga clubs, all 12 Arkema Premier League clubs, and a 16-club NWSL that includes Boston Legacy and Denver Summit. But the clearest new licensing announcement arrives in Mexico. Liga BBVA MX is new for FC27, and EA says all 18 clubs and their players appear in a fully licensed experience. That is the announcement's cleanest before and after change. The rest of the article is more about how EA intends to make those licenses feel authentic. Authenticity here means more than putting the correct badge beside a club name. Across the article, EA repeatedly points to kits, crests, broadcast graphics, custom commentary, stadium atmosphere, match overlays, and league-specific presentation. That distinction is important. A licensed roster tells you who is available. A presentation package changes how a competition looks and sounds every time you play it, but the detail is uneven. EA gives exact club counts for the Bundesliga, MLS, NWSL, Super League, and several women's leagues. League One is described as fully licensed without a number. Serie A is tied to an exclusive partnership and a Player of the Month program, but the article does not list every club or promise identical coverage for each one. Even the La Liga sentence is awkward enough that its number should not be expanded into a stronger claim. The safest conclusion is simple. The licenses are broad, but the article does not prove that every league receives the same depth. And that brings us back to the headline numbers. More than 800 clubs and national teams sounds definitive, but EA does not publish the complete list here. More than 35 leagues sounds comprehensive, but the article names only part of the total and gives different levels of detail for each. The 140 stadium figure includes the Santiago Bernabéu, Anfield, Allianz Arena, and Parc des Princes. Yet EA also says more additions and rebuilds will be announced later. The article does not explain which modes carry every competition, whether presentation depth is uniform across platforms, or which organizations make up the full group of more than 300 partners. That is the most useful takeaway. This is not a final encyclopedia of every FC27 license. It is a map of EA's biggest commitments and a list of the questions the next official reveal still needs to answer. FC27's authenticity pitch is impressive because of its scale. It becomes credible only when we keep its limits visible too. Which part of EA's announcement matters most to you? Liga BBVA MX, the stadium count, the women's competition coverage, or the full European and South American tournament package? Tell us which official FC27 reveal we should break down next. Subscribe to Gameplay Grid for source-first coverage that separates what EA confirmed from what remains unknown.